So that shiny new game just came out, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game first and first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. Everything I'll be talking about happened within 5 hours of starting the game, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. I am really into this game. It's very cool and unique. The story is weird and captivating, and the graphics look nice. The gameplay is also fun and a little hard. The game as a whole has a French vibe to it, which I kinda like, but what I really like is the piano and guitar music in the game, especially in the beginning scenes. It just sounds so good. The game begins with two people talking, that being Maël and Gustave. They are both two of the main characters in the game, but there will be more characters as well. I'm not quite sure how to explain the story in this game, as I don't fully understand it. As I see it, every year the paintress, which is a giant you can see across the water, lowers the number next to her, and that causes a whole lot of people to turn into flowers and float away. Basically, they die. I think how the people are chosen is that whatever the number that's displayed next to her shows, anyone that age will die, and the number just keeps going down. The main character, Gustave, has a female friend named Sophie that is up next to die. They were together long ago, but broke up. They clearly still like each other. I think they broke up because he wanted children, but she didn't want to bring them into this world. This game lets you freely switch between all playable characters, so you can switch between Sophie and Gustave as you walk to the harbor. Later in the game, you'll be able to switch between Gustave and the other characters at will. Who you walk around as has zero effect on anything in the game though, so it doesn't really matter. You can walk around and interact with a few people on the way to the harbor, but once you get there, it'll begin. Sophie dies and turns into flowers, and now the real story begins. Gustave is part of the next expedition to set out towards the paintress, to try and kill her to end this happening over and over. They send expeditions out every single year, and this time it's Expedition 33, the one that he's going on. There's something called chroma around the map that you can pick up and collect, and it's used for some upgrades, merchants, and other things later on in the game. There is other things that you can collect in the game as well, such as chroma catalysts, which is for weapon upgrades, and pictos, which are basically mods that you can equip to one of your characters. I'm going to play two different scenes from the game back to back. They're kind of lengthy, but I just really like the music and the moment in the game, so feel free to skip past it if you want.
This too is your legacy.
In a way, it's yours too. I'm here.
I know. I know.
Let's talk about the combat now. When I saw that it was turn-based combat, I was a bit disappointed. I'm not really into that. But this game has a real unique form of it. How it goes usually is all my characters attack, then the enemy attacks, and back and forth. But what makes this game cool is that there is real-time dodging and parrying. And the timing can be really difficult for some enemies. I found myself able to easily dodge or parry certain enemies and certain attacks, but other enemies I had no chance whatsoever. You have 3 different forms of attack. Each attack uses ability points or AP to use, except for the very default attack. You can free aim, which is usually weaker unless you hit a weak point. You can use a basic attack, and finally you can use your skills. Skills use various amounts of AP to use. Sometimes you'll need to build up your character's AP during a fight to use a stronger attack. Skills have different effects that can be applied too, like making an enemy have burn damage for several turns, or being defenseless, or stun them, and so on. They also do various amounts of damage. You'll unlock more skills as you play, and then there's also Pictos. Those can be used to affect battles as well, both actively and passively once you rank it up and equip it. An example of a Pictos buff is 25% increased critical chance on burning enemies. Some skills in Pictos work better in tandem with other skills in Pictos, like the one I just mentioned. That would obviously work better on a burning enemy. You'll be able to equip different weapons, Pictos, and skills in the expedition menu that you can pull up. When I got off the game, I had 3 playable characters, all of which were customizable. I actually really like the combat system in this game. The real-time dodging and parrying reminds me of Souls-like games, but it's still on a turn-based system. It's really cool. There were a few enemies I came across I just could not beat at all, like the mimes. I came across 2 so far in the game, and I just gave up with those. I always seem to do little damage to them, and they have so much health and resistance. Mael is actually on the expedition with Gustav, which is kind of strange, because usually the expedition members are those about to die the next year, but she's a teenager, but I'm not sure what age exactly. Gustav himself and his sister Emma are both guardians of Mael. I have no idea if that means they're sort of like siblings, parents, or something else to her, but that's what Emma said to him, that they're guardians. Emma is also the chief counselor of the town that they're at, and she's the one that gives a speech to send the expedition off. The thing about the expeditions is no one ever returned, so it's basically certain death. When they get to the island across the water, I literally have no idea what's happening. A guy walks out with a cane, and he's actually old, which is crazy to the people on the expedition, because each year the age people die gets younger and younger. So how is this guy alive and old, and is he from a previous expedition? Just what the heck is going on here exactly? The old guy just immediately attacks, and then some sort of creature attacks after he does and knocks out Gustav. Gustav wakes up alone, and now your journey really begins. You'll come across various different enemies to fight, you'll get stronger, the enemies will get stronger, and you'll find some more survivors along the way, all while hopefully figuring out the mystery of just what is going on here. The map of this game is not open world, it's pretty linear. There are a few different pathways to take though, as well as some optional pathways with more enemies and some loot to pick up. I myself really want to know what's going on in this world. I find it fascinating, but I am still on the path and fighting enemies. I find this game to be really unique and just awesome to play, really. I really think that this is a game that you should give a try. It's just too cool not to. Though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.